Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Lex Money. In today's video, we need to jump back into another TAO update. Now guys, Bitcoin is running into a key level of support that we did speak about earlier on the channel. However, we do have a little bit lower that we could possibly go, all the way to around 100k. Okay, a retest of 100k wouldn't be too bad. It's going to bring us around 6% down for Bitcoin. However, what you're starting to see now is ETH have a bit of a sell-off, and this could mean that we come back down to retest around 4.1 to 3.9k. And the reason we look at that, guys, is because when you go and then compare TAO, you're going to see that we actually have started to break down from this key structure that we were looking at in the TAO charts, guys. Now, the main thing that we want to be seeing is 267 to be held as support. And sometimes these order blocks don't get filled exactly. So anywhere between like 2 to 267 is going to be a key area of interest where I'd expect a lot of buying pressure to come back into the market. But again, it goes all the way down to around $2.25, which was this initial push up from the 200s to around the 500s on the Coinbase chart. Now, when we go and check out the Binance chart, we got a bit more price data here, guys. And we can go to the weekly and we can see that, we can go to the daily and we can see that it does look like once we do lose around 287, we probably are going to go to the low 200s where we should expect a bounce, guys. And this would be in line with holding a new higher low, okay? So 168 is pretty much like the absolute line in the sand. If we went lower than 168, then it's probably game over for TAO. But if we can form a higher low at around 200 to 232, that's going to be fantastic, guys. Are similar to those of early stage internet companies, guys. So if you could have got in on something like Google, Amazon, Facebook in the early stages, you would have made, you know, a really big amount of profit at this time. And I think the same is going to be the same for these AI companies, especially things like TAO, ICP, maybe even things like Render that have real world use cases, and FET, okay? But for the purpose of today's video, we're looking into TAO. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so heavy in TAO, why it's my #1 AI hold. And what you can do is you can go down the subnets. Now, every single day, or every single week, maybe every single month, the subnets grow and you start to see these subnets overtake one another. You're seeing #1 or #3 right now is actually Ridges. So you can get 7% emissions on this at the moment, but also you could actually outperform the price of TAO maybe over the past week and the past month, and then use that to grow your TAO stack. And that's pretty much what I've been doing with Bitcast. Again, we looked into shoots, we looked into Ridges as well in the previous video, guys. And these subnet valuations aren't sky high right now because they're pretty much slept on, right? If we go back and we see TAO is at $300 and the all-time high was around $700, okay, you're not going to start to see the money flow go into these subnets until TAO probably breaks new all-time highs. Then everybody scrolls down and they're like, right, what subnets can I invest into when they do start to understand what TAO Bittensor is doing, and the fact that all of these are just pretty much AI companies building on top of the #1 AI layer, guys. So a lot of potential there if we do front run that. And remember, if you do want to read more about Bittensor, then there are many different websites you can go onto. I mean, I'd be going on to bittensor.com. You can find some information also on TAO stats as well, but I mean, really for like intros about philosophy, all that sort of stuff, sort of condensed down, just go and read on the bittensor.com/about. But we're not going to get into that today, guys. Another way that I've been looking at trying to invest into some subnets or allocate some of my TAO into subnets has been through DSV Fund, which is what we spoke about in the previous video. And again, we're going to look to see what they've been highlighting, okay? Because they've been highlighting 2 subnets where they've been actually allocating their capital, okay? So what they basically do is they are the first hedge fund focused on exclusively Bittensor, or exclusively focused on Bittensor. So what DSV Fund does is it goes all the way through these subnets and it, you know, analyzes pretty much all of these. It say, right, what's building, what can we see be a potential in the subnet, and then they allocate their fund, being that they're a subnet hedge fund. One of them has been into Ridges, okay? They actually posted this not long ago, so Subnet 62. They completed a $672,000 OTC allocation into Ridges AI, taking the total position to more than 1 million. Has seen a bit of a sell-off over the past day or so. But when you look overall, guys, I mean, this thing is climbing and it is very close to the all-time high. We spoke about ridges in the previous video when it was probably like somewhere down here. And since then, it's on about 100%. Okay, so it was at the beginning of September, or end of August, should I say, that we spoke about ridges. Since then, you know, up about 95%, even after this sell-off. Okay, so ridges, not a bad play in my opinion. And for all of you guys wondering what ridges do, it's software engineering agents. You can go and check out their website. Okay, so incentivized agentic training. Shout out to everybody who got into ridges before the last video. Now another one that they're looking at is Polaris, and if you guys want to, you can watch the Revenue Search podcast, which is DSV Funds podcast, where they speak about potential investments, what they've invested into, why they're looking into different subnets, where they're allocating money and stuff like that. So again, you should go and follow DSV Fund if you're in the TAO ecosystem, to make sure you're keeping up to date with what a Subnet hedge fund is investing into, like live and direct. And again, they actually did invest a second $50,000 OTC investment into Bitcast, which is where I mine my TAO. Okay, so YouTube no code miner solution. It allows people like myself to make videos on TAO, Bittensor, different subnets, and then actually mine that way as well, guys. So again, you guys can go through all of the data there on Twitter and figure that one out for yourself, guys. But I'll leave a link for DSV Fund in the description of this video. Make sure you have given them a follow, guys. But eyes on the prize now for TAO is going to be how big the sell-off is. If we can hold above $288, going to be great. If we can't, and then we do have that September sell-off that we're expecting, you know, 20% all the way down to 233, where I'd expect a lot of buying pressure to be coming back into the market, guys. So again, you guys let me know how you're feeling about TAO. Are you in? Are you out? Are you waiting for that perfect entry? You guys can let me know. And if you find anything this video useful, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe. I'm seeing you in the next one. Peace.